Hello everyone, South Wisconsin Sasquatch here. Today I'm making a video about deer. Well, deer aren't that interesting unless you're a nature buff or a hunter, but they're really useful, and by that I mean they're a food source. Time and time again, people claim that Sasquatch isn't real because there isn't enough food in the habitats that they supposedly live in. I'm going to try and test that in this video. According to the Pennsylvania Game Commission, an average doe of 143 pounds would yield 63 pounds of edible meat, and that's not including the organ meats. But how many calories are in a pound of deer meat? This website says a pound of deer meat is about 544 calories. Now we need to calculate the caloric needs of a Bigfoot, but sadly we have no Bigfoot to base this off of, so we'll use estimates. An adult male tiger weighs about 350 pounds, maybe on average, and requires about 7,000 and some calories every day. What if we doubled that? That would seem like a fair estimate since people say Bigfoot is so large. So that would mean we get 14,472 calories. As a side note, I didn't want to use bears as a comparison because they ingest calories into the 40,000s during bulking phases, and Bigfoot isn't reported to hibernate like bears do. Or we could just make a guess and say that they only need 10,000 calories. And finally, I use a human calorie needs calculator for a person that would be 8 foot tall, 400 pounds, and 21 years old. That gave us the caloric need of 5,715. So let's test all three. The first number would need 26.6 pounds of meat a day to live. The second would need 18.4 pounds of meat a day. And lastly, the 8-foot human would need 10.5 pounds of meat a day. Now, just to put that into perspective, to feed a family of 4, the first group would need 2 deer per day, the second group would need 1 deer and 1/3 of a deer a day, and the last would only need 66% of 1 deer. So how many deer is that in a year? For Group 1, that's 730 deer a year. Group 2, 485.5 deer a year. And Group 3, 241 deer a year. You may be thinking 730 deer a year is a whole lot, but here in Wisconsin, our deer population is about 1,300,000, and that was in 2016. According to one source, if the habitat is good, 50% of the female deer population will have a fawn the next spring. That's about 325,000 pregnant deer, and after the first 2 years, does will often have 2 fawns instead of 1, and occasionally have 3 fawns. Now what about hunters? Around 200,000 deer were killed by hunters in Wisconsin, I think around 2016, 2017, and that gives us about 125,000 surplus deer still left alive. But what about car crashes? Cars kill deer all the time. Roughly, let's say that each county in Wisconsin kills 1,000 deer. And we have 72 counties, so that makes it up to 72,000 dead deer. That leaves us with 53,000 surplus deer, increasing the population. And notice how 53,000 is way above the 730 deer per year estimate. Now keep in mind, this is if Bigfoot just ate meat, which they are not reported to just eat meat. They also eat plants and foliage and whatnot. You know, they are reported to be omnivores. So I think I've made some things clear. That something large could survive in the Wisconsin wilderness on just deer alone. Thank you for your time, and thank you for watching.